Hello everybody, it's Rick. It is the 31st of January, the last day of January. Where is the time going? Alright, my last video I showed you guys the affidavits. I was compressing a lot of information. Listen, I don't know how to extend these YouTube videos longer than 15 minutes. So, I usually stop. I'm good at this stuff. I told you guys I used to be an instructor in the police academy. So I was taught how to do this. I used to teach 3-hour classes. I used to teach nutrition. I used to teach nutrition to fat donut eating cops. And I had to make it interesting. And I became very respected on my job because of that. I became kind of like a rock star. I used to teach in the police academy. I had a whole bunch of guys that I trained in the police academy, so they're always going to look up to you for the rest of their career. Like, every once in a while, when I go back to my job, a lot of the guys that I trained in the academy are they're like chiefs, captains, lieutenants, and I retired as just a cop. I mean, if I would have stayed on, I would have rose high. I was supposed to have been promoted a couple of times, and I got screwed over. And remember, I was at my video. The last video, I was pointing at all the boxes and stuff, and I made a reference. I said, I don't take it in the ass. And what that meant was, I don't take kindly to somebody trying to screw me over. And if they do, I'm gonna fight back. Or if you're using me for something, you're not gonna be able to use me anymore. And that's what happened with me. Back in 2001, I was the lead instructor in a couple of things. I used to be the physical fitness guy. I used to teach the cops, defensive tactics, how to protect themselves. I'm an expert at all this stuff. I could go to a court and be certified an expert. If I wanted to. Let's say I offer my services to a law firm, like in New York City. 3 years ago, a lot of you guys know about the case, the famous case where the NYPD choked that guy Eric Garner. And what a lot of you guys don't know is that they edited that video down. That guy, he killed him. He choked him out. All right, it was an illegal choke. It's one of the first things I used to teach in defensive tactics was you're not allowed to choke. See, there's a thing called carotid artery. If you ever watch like UFC and stuff, those guys are experts. They choke you. What they're doing, they cut the blood flow, and you pass out. And you let the blood flow come back. 10 seconds later, you smack the guy in the face. He wakes right up. Well, these guys brought it around on his larynx, and they killed him. And they killed him over cigarettes. All right? That's how stupid these guys are. There's a lot of dummies carrying guns and badges, so you got to be careful out there, guys. I get it. Especially the black guys. I'm going to let you guys know a little secret. You guys probably already know this. I'm not black. But I was a police officer. Yes. I don't want to say they're racist, because they're not racist. They become conditioned, and they become cold. And I've never worked with anybody that came to work and be like, these effing, I'm not going to use the word out of disrespect to you guys. And they just zeroed in on them. If you worked in an area where it was, a mostly African-American area, you dealt with African-American people. And especially if you're dealing with a certain element of people, you can't. Some of these guys were so dumb, they would label everybody. All right, and that's what a lot of cops, they, especially here in New York, we get all these white kids who live out in Long Island. They were never accustomed to being around black people. They might have gotten, their impression from watching television and stuff. I was lucky that for 3.5 years before I became a police officer, I worked on Rikers Island for 3.5 years as a correction officer, which taught me how to use this, and I became a good cop. So anyway, getting back, the Eric Garner thing, I was seriously considering calling the law firm up, and getting paid to be an expert witness, because that's what I did, and I could do it. But I said, let me stay out of the newspapers and stuff, because I was really mad about that. I was like, a lot of guys get, they like us, we get labeled deadbeats. That's what these scumbags use that phrase, so everybody bends the law. The judges, the politicians, and the news. So they all think, it's okay. You know what? It's okay to bend the law a little bit because these guys are deadbeats. That's like, just like the supposed terrorism with the waterboarding, Even though torture is illegal, yeah, but they're terrorists, and we got to find out. There are no fucking terrorists. That's another bullshit. One day, if you do the research, you'll find out this country always needs a boogeyman, so we could always be at war with somebody. When I was growing up, it was Russians. Now it's terrorists. And what everybody's mad about, what they won't tell you with Donald Trump, the powers that be, and the reason why, if you're not a Trump fan, maybe you should be. If the newspapers are against Trump, that means he's doing something good. Understand that. The newspapers are never, and the media are never for people doing good. They're always for the powers that be. Okay? So, if he's keeping people out that are potentially terrorists, then things can't happen, and then they can't take away your freedoms like they did on 9/11, where this Patriot Act was already fucking written, and a month after 9/11, they were already enacted because everybody was mad. And that's why, they bend the law. If people start getting used to bending the law, it becomes common. Okay? So, anyway, I am making a point here. So I said, I'm going to leave the Eric Garner stuff alone because I didn't believe he got choked out. But let me just get back to what my point was. I don't take it in the butt. Meaning, I'm a fighter. And I'm going to do everything I can to beat these people down. Just like all of you are doing now by watching my video and watching other videos like from Ahmed Osiris, Wasil Bey, and whoever else is out there. And you're a fighter. And I was working in the police academy. I got screwed over. I should have gotten promoted 2 times. And being a fighter, not taking it in the air, saved my life. So, in 2001, I got screwed over my promotion. They gave it to my friend because the captain that was involved in charge was a woman who used to hit on me all the time, and I didn't want anything to do with her. And then she got promoted, and then she hated my guts. All right, sexual harassment, I guess you could call it. Anyway, they needed me to teach, and she got smart with me one day, this captain. I was like, yeah. She's like, yeah, you're not leaving until I say you can leave. I said, oh, okay, really? All right. Well, I had a back injury that just happened to be acting up at that time. And I went out sick. And I was out sick the summer of 9/11, all right? And they transferred me out of the academy. And the guy that took my place got killed in 9/11. The captain that screwed me, she got killed. The guy that took my place got killed in 9/11. And a few of my friends got killed in 9/11. So, because I don't take it in the rear end, I don't let anybody fuck with me is the reason why I'm still here. All right? It's a true story. So, are you a deadbeat? Are you going to let these people walk all over you? No. We're going to keep fighting. All right? I never, ever for a second, although I wanted to give up a couple of times, I'm not going to lie to you. You know, I saw him on Osiris videos and everything he was saying. I was like, okay, I'm on the right track because I discovered a lot of these things. And he reaffirmed that I was right because I was trying all of these things. And they would just, you know, ignore my paperwork. What they do is they'll send you a response completely ignoring your questions. But what do we have now? We have interrogatories now. All right? Here. I have an interrogatory here for my pension. I had a hearing. They owe me $130,000. And I had a hearing on the phone back in June. I had this scumbag retired judge who, you know, just blatantly ignored all my constitutional rights. And it's not even mentioned in his findings, his determination. Well, I got a big problem with that. That's called concealment. So here's an interrogatory that I'm mailing out to him. Anybody can do it. So I'll give you an example. Oh, and also affidavit of service. Look, I just wrote it up in pen. You don't got to type everything out. So like, hey, Rick, how do you do it? You just write affidavit on a top service. You just make sure you got the name and address of somebody else who's mailing it, because it can't be you, and you say how you're doing it by United States Postal Service certified mail, and then you put the name and address of the person it's going to. You get it notarized, and that's it. You're covered. You don't got to type it out. I wrote it out. A lot of these things you can write out. Not everybody has access to a computer. All right, so you can just use the old-fashioned pen and paper and do it. So, let's say your payroll. Remember, I showed you guys how to tell them to stop. Okay, now they didn't stop. Now you do an interrogatory. That's how you use interrogatories the right way. You're gonna say, okay, you keep telling me you have to. Will you show me the evidence? You keep telling me there's a court order. Okay, who signed the court order? What's the name of the clerk on the court order? Where's the clerk's office that it was recorded in? And now, if they can't answer that, guess what? We don't have a court order anymore. Then, to further make your point, if you're missing those three, you gotta void judgment. What's a void judgment? A void judgment is a legal term for a forgery. That's all it is. It's lacking a requirement. It's lacking a judge's signature. A common void judgment are these child support orders because they're not issued by a trial by jury. It's not a judgment from a jury. Yesterday I was writing up an interrogatory for a guy. You know, he paid me a little extra money, and I did it personally. And he loves it. And I got into it. I was just like, boom, banging it out. Because I got mad. He sent me the paperwork, and I was looking at him like, this motherfucking bitch who's petitioning the court, some lawyer representing the social services, child support people, just put in a petition, and it's her belief that he's legally required to pay support. There's no evidence. First of all, you can't get a conviction in a court with a belief. So, anyway, I banged that thing out. He loves it. And when she gets it, she's going to be shocked because she's a lawyer. Lawyers don't like people like us because we don't play by the rules. So, are you one of these people that are going to take it in the rear end, or are you going to fight back? I know you're going to fight back. Okay? Me fighting back is the reason why I'm here. I'd be dead right now. There's a reason for everything. Anyway, thanks for sharing this ride, and I'll talk to you guys later.